Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. I'm back again with another track guide for this week's current daily race C. So for this combination we are racing in Group 1 at Fuji with racing medium tyres. It's a no stop race, flat out from start to finish. Now using the Porsche for the qualifying and for the race, you might need to do a little bit of hybrid preservation during the race just to keep that hybrid working all the way to the finish. This is a very simple thing you do. Just ride the brakes in, for example, the last sector. Just keep a little bit of braking input in. That will stop you using it in certain points, and it will also help regenerate that hybrid. You can also brake a little bit early into turn 1. For example, don't go into 7th gear, just leave it in 6th gear and help that hybrid regenerate a little bit earlier, and then just brake a little bit later because you've started braking tiny amounts before the braking zone. So for the race, that's a good way of doing it and preserving the hybrid. Now, one thing I'm going to show you during this track guide is some of the gear selections that I haven't tried it out in the race yet. I think it's going to help preserve that hybrid a little bit better also. So hopefully these tips for the time trial, which will help you get a better lap in time trial, should also help you out in the race in terms of looking after that hybrid. Well, I hope it does anyway. But yeah, let me know if this helps you out. Let me know if it gives you a faster lap time in the time trial. Hopefully we can get you as high up as possible. I am currently in the top 10 in the world with this lap, so hopefully I can give you some information. Right, let's start this lap. Starting your lap, obviously flat out down the main straight, and then you're going to be looking for your first major braking zone, which is turn 1, and you're going to be looking for that 100 board. So as we go down the main straight here, you're looking for you're going past the 250, 200, 150 there, and you're looking for that 100 board there. Your braking inputs are going in just shy of that 100 board. Now, you're going to brake down to 3rd gear. Now, don't go into 2nd gear. Just stay in 3rd gear and watch what happens. If you stay in 3rd gear, this car really slows down really nicely and rotates very, very nice in 3rd gear. So staying in 3rd gear, and then that gives you the ability to not have to up shift but on the exits. You can stay in 3rd gear, get on that power nice and early, and accelerate now down into this next left-hand corner, which is almost completely flat out. So watch what we're going to do is 50 board on the right hand side there. We're going to start turning in very early here, and we're aiming to get as close to the bollard on the left. Now watch what we do with the throttle. Tiniest little lift. Now you don't have to do this. I do it just to give a little bit more angle into the corner. It just gives you the ability to rotate through here. See how the top time in front of us runs a little bit further wide. Now one thing you have to do is make sure your left hand tyre gets back on the track before the end of that curb. If you don't do that, you pick up a penalty, so remember that. Now all the way through here, it's completely flat. You do not need to lift on GT7 with this car. It has got unbelievable downforce. Aim to get your right hand tyre as close to this right hand side as possible on this point, and then we're going to be getting the car back over to the right hand side. Now we're going to brake just short of that 100 board on the right hand side there. So braking inputs are going to go in pretty much level just short of it, and we're getting the car back over to the right now. So you can see we're aiming for that right hand side, and then we're going to start rotating in for exit speed on this corner. So you're going to start trail braking into the corner, and we're going to start really thinking about the exit speed. Now I miss the apex ever so slightly there. You can see could have done with being a little bit closer to the apex, but what we're going to get here is probably quite good exit speed because of the line that I've took. So upshift to 4th gear nice and early. There's no hybrid input when you're turning, so when the input of your wheel is going on, hybrid doesn't work. So always remember that. So you want to get that steering wheel straightened up as quick as possible. So into the next braking zone, we're using the Dunlop board above our head there. That's a reference. We brake slightly past that though. So as we come into the braking, you see here braking inputs going in just past that Dunlop board. And now we're going to brake into a straight line. Now we're going to go down to 2nd gear here. So down to 2nd gear, and at this point you can see we're going to start getting this car into the apex. Now what you want to do is take quite a bit of curb off on this corner. So you can see the P1's lap there takes quite a large chunk off this curb, and that will help rotate your car through this chicane. So what you're doing is over the curb, onto the throttle, and then you get the rotation. Now you're going to go up to 3rd gear early. Just be careful you don't hit the grass like I did there. You see a little bit of movement on my rear of the car, but what we're doing here is we're trying to get the car straight lined as quick as possible. Remember what I told you about the hybrid? Car in a straight line, hybrid works. Turning, it won't work. So next braking zone, we're using the end of the grass on the left-hand side there. That is a perfect reference for hitting the brakes. You see, onto the brakes. Now, I'm going to stay in 4th gear. This seems like the fastest way to do it, I think. It gives you really good rotation if you get it right. Staying in 4th gear, you don't need to go down to 3rd. And then onto that throttle in 4th gear enables that hybrid to really work on the exit if you get that steering inputs lined up right. Now, you see, I ran a bit wide there, lost a bit of input on the hybrid. Now we're going to use this curb. You see the end of the curb there? There's like a line that I use for an invisible braking reference there, and we're on the brakes nice and early. Now what you're going to see here, I try and rotate it through. However, I miss the apex here. I don't put enough braking input in it at the end of the braking zone. And you can see you really want to get that left-hand tyre onto that apex the way the P1's Ghost has done. I missed that completely. Could have fit a bus through there, but I get away with it by getting on the throttle quite early. And again, we've got that straight line exit, which is going to help with fourth gear here. So powering our way out, using the hybrid, and now into the next braking zone. Now, I don't really have a reference for this braking. I just brake nice and early. I do it by a visual reference, making sure that I'm on the brakes early rather than late, because you want to get this car rotating, and then on the power, and you want your right-hand tyre to be skimming this apex. If you get this right, you can really get on that power, and you can gain quite a lot of time. So on that power you see there, using some of the green Astro as well to help straighten the line of the car up, so the hybrid kicks in that little bit sooner. It may sound silly, but you know, a tenth of a second quicker on the hybrid could equal 3 tenths by the finishing line. So remember that. Now we're going to go over the line. 1 minute 21.9. Pretty solid lap. I was pretty happy with that. We did this live on stream, and yeah, I was pretty happy to get into the 21. Now I do think, looking at my lap from the chase camera and watching it back, there is at least 3 tenths available in that. I think 21.5 is possible for me if I really went hardcore on this time trial. But you know what I'm like, I'm probably not going to do that. I just like to get you these basic guides out to help you out and help you lot get faster. But we'll watch this again, really chucking it in through there. You can see how you get that, let's see how aggressively I'm getting the car back over to the track to avoid that penalty, and then completely flat out through it. And then again here, you're going to see how I miss the apex here. You can see there might only be a tiniest little bit of missed apex, but that can be the difference between half a tenth. And you know, when you're really looking for that perfect lap, it will make a difference. Now this corner here, very important to get over the curb. So you're going to see braking in and getting the car rotated onto the curb. That helps with the rotation. When you clip that curb, it actually rotates the car a little bit. And then on the throttle here, and again using that reference of the end of the grass, rotating it in fourth again. Now you're going to see the car, a little bit of movement on the rear there. That lost us a tenth easily there. Quite a bit of time lost. And then here, massive gap between the apex, lost probably another tenth there. So there's probably 2.5 tenths that I can just see through basic mistakes. And then with pushing a little bit more in some of these corners, I think there's a lot more time left in this lap. But I'm sure this should help you out with a basic guide for the braking references and to push your laps and hopefully get you as high up on that qualifying board as possible. So remember, if these videos do help you out, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments if it's managed to help you out. I'll be seeing you for more videos and more live streams soon. Bye everyone.